Welcome everyone to Sunday Sunrise. As I record this at 7 a.m. on Sunday, it is August 8th, 2021. It is a special day because it just so happens that Sunday Sunrise or Sunrise Sunday lands on the new moon as well as the Lionsgate portal. And yesterday on the 7th was my birthday, and I kept calling it all day my rebirth day. And I want to talk a little bit today about the energies of where we find ourselves on this Lionsgate portal and what is opening up for us. But first, I want to give you a little introduction of where I am. So if you hear some strange noises coming from around me, you understand what it is, and it's kind of cool. I'm actually excited to see how it goes. I decided about 3 to 4 months ago to start doing these Sunrise Sundays and recording these messages at 7 a.m. every Sunday, just simply because I felt that Sundays have always been a very sacred day for very different reasons. I've shared different reasons throughout this series. But in this moment, in a week, I move on to a new adventure, a new chapter really that opens up into a perspective that looks a lot like me finally living as my true self after yesterday being my 47th year around the sun. I am stepping into a place where I'm newly married for the second time. I have teenage boys. I've created some time and location freedom in my life, which is something I've always dreamed of having, but haven't chosen that route. I chose to go in my adult years to a route that took me into being very, very much limited by not only my finances, but also by my location and the commitments that I made. I was not living a life where I had the movement and the freedom to move whenever my soul desired me to move. Movement can mean many different things to many different people. Movement can mean geographic locations, which I do enjoy and have always enjoyed in my life and have found many different reasons to move and adventure. But movement can also mean different choices, making the choices, moving along in a situation that may have been stuck or limited. Maybe you have something that you're facing that it just feels like, man, I just keep repeating the same thing and I'm not learning my lesson, and you're recognizing it. Having the flexibility of movement means that you have the flexibility to make change within that challenge. So there are different meanings of movement. However, I have very greatly limited myself, as I do believe that most humans do in their lives. And that limitation really was the result of living a life for everybody else, choosing rather than choosing what it was that I really wanted to be doing, choosing the safest route or choosing the route that just made the most sense, that was most quote unquote logical. And over the course of my adult life, I built up a career, a first marriage, first family life. I created my life with a lot of limitation in it. And in this past year, I've making the choice and taken the action steps to create more space and movement in the life, which has meant that I've had to say goodbye to many things that I have loved and adored about the life that I did choose. And yet it was time to let some things go. And maneuvering this past year has been extremely difficult and painful. And yet at the same time, it has also been quite liberating as I've gotten more and more freedom. So as I sit here today, I have the freedom yesterday to come to COBA, Mexico. It's in Quintana Roo, the state of Quintana Roo on the Yucatan Peninsula. And we've been in Mexico for almost 5 months now, and we're getting ready to leave and go to practice some movement and go to another beautiful place. I will share that once the everything has been solidified, because it's still really up in the air as to what we're going to choose. We have several options that are very exciting and also very scary at the same time. So we are sitting on these options and deciding what comes next in this next chapter. And since we are beginning a new chapter here in about a week or two of completely different freedom, the freedom to really choose to move, because my children are going to be staying with their dad for the time being at their own choice. It's a hard choice for me to let go of. It's a hard choice to choose to let go of your kids and allow them to make their own choices at a young age, before the quote unquote official age that you allow your kids to go out into the world. And we say that that's something that comes around the age of 18, and then they go to college and have a couple of years to kind of practice with their choices before they're fully out in the adult world. However, my kids have come to that place of maturity, I guess, emotional maturity, that they I don't know if they fully understand, but they're practicing with understanding more and more their choices and choosing, choosing comfort, choosing where they feel most comfortable, where they want to have the experience of different lifestyles. They have the choice of a lifestyle of normalcy and what looks very normal in our modern world, and that is, going to traditional school and living living the life that I have already experienced, folks, as an adult. And that life wasn't for me, and that's why I've chosen to move out of it. And yet what I'm finding is that allowing our children to make their own choices at a young age, when we can guide them, when they are still willing to listen, when we are still able as parents to come in and say, okay, if that didn't work, let me help you. If that did work, let me encourage you to keep doing that. Whatever the outcome is of allowing our kids to have their choices, as parents, we are still there just as we would be if they were 19 or 20 years old. My kids are younger, and yet I wholeheartedly believe this is the right choice to allow them to choose for themselves what kind of lifestyle they want. And right now they want a stable, consistent, each day looking consistently the same. They want that lifestyle over one that they can't quite imagine. We've never lived this lifestyle of traveling and being on the road. And although that is extremely scary to my husband, my now husband, and we are excited at the opportunities that we know will unfold by strictly following our hearts and traveling this world based on where we decide to go. And when we find a place that we love so much, we will make it our home. And yet being in the unknown of that for teenagers is extremely difficult, and I understand that. And yet, with where we are in this Lionsgate portal and this time of year where intentions and manifestations are rolled out, basically, I no longer want to pull back my own choices and limit myself to what is possible simply because my kids don't want to choose this lifestyle. This is the bravest thing I, as a human, have ever faced, and that is letting go of my kids way before I am ready, so that I can give them the opportunity to learn how to grow and make choices and to trust themselves. And I will be here to guide them. And yet, not having them in my physical space, the idea of that is extremely painful. I share all of this with you, sweet soul, because we are all in some sort of grand challenge that we see. Whether it doesn't matter what area of your life is it's in, we're all in it. We're all facing that really big fear, the big one, the one we've kind of been pushing down, saying, well, I'm going to keep a positive attitude, that'll get better. And I kept seeing this coming the more we talked about living a life of freedom and movement. I saw that was starting to make my kids uncomfortable. And then we had to release our home and many of our belongings. And that got hard. It got progressively more challenging throughout this year. And yet, what I share with you today is that I am down to the last few days of spending time with my kids and us as a family of 4. So we decided to just make the most of it and come out to COBA to sit in the tranquility of this place. And it's an ancient Mayan ruin that was built directly on one of the major ley lines, one of the major energy veins, so to speak, of our planet. And I knew that the significance of us being here was that we would be here during this new moon and this Lionsgate portal. We would be here as a family adventuring. And I know that when we adventure and we get out of the norm, we are at our best and we laugh and we enjoy. And my boys all of a sudden get along and we just all forget that we're supposed to, have these challenges because we're parenting teenagers. We all just flow together when we adventure. So we adventured out here and we took part in a beautiful family ceremony. Maybe it wasn't anything formal, but if you look at the picture on the screen, as I walked around these ruins, I put my hands on these beautiful monolithic stones and I touched and felt and put my feet in the ground here. For I don't really know what went on here when these things were built. I watched and read and researched as best as I could. But I want to go on a journey now to go to these places around the world and truly learn what these civilizations were trying to teach us, and these beautiful things that are these beautiful creations that are still standing today. And as I put my hands on these, knowing that I was in one of the most powerful places to create an intentional request of Gus, of my sacred God, universe, spirit of my soul, I sat and I simply prayed for not only in my family, but for every single person who would feel this intention that I set out, this intention on this grand ley line of earth, that I know this intention went out to every single soul and sentient being on this planet, as well as to planet Earth. And I'd like to share this blessing with you. As I sit here in this beautiful space, as I sit here in the jungle in Mexico, delivering this message, being an act of service of some sort to humanity, if only in intention setting, but following from the energy of yesterday, walking these ancient ruins, putting stories together, connecting dots, feeling the energy of the space, and knowing that this place was built in perfect alignment with our stars, in perfect alignment with the geographic ley lines of our earth, energetic ley lines of our earth, knowing that there were beautiful ceremonies. And yes, I do know that the Mayans were also violent people. However, today and yesterday, being in this sacred land, I honor the part of them that honored the stars and their connection with the stars and their connection with higher beings of light who helped who helped with the building, who helped with the architecture, who helped with the strategy, who helped teach, who helped. These beautiful beings of light brought knowledge and wisdom to this Mayan culture, and it was infused in every brick and every stone that was laid. Every single one of us have access to this knowledge and this wisdom. We all know exactly what this knowledge and wisdom leads us to, and that is to live as our full divine multidimensional self in physical form while on this third dimensional planet, that is quickly rising to new and higher dimensions in physical form into the fourth and fifth dimension. As we are also doing so, our consciousness, our abilities, our supernatural inherent soul abilities are awakening and expanding on this Lionsgate portal as these sun rays, this high vibrational photonic light floods into our planet. It opens up a portal of intention so grand and so big on this also on this new moon. An even greater time of intention setting and expansion into the higher self required to surface, to become and to be and to create that intention. And in this moment and in this space, this physical space, I gather all of the co-creative souls, multi-dimensional souls coming together in this moment to create this intention. And from this co-creative space, the energy that is intended now flows out of my voice to represent each of the intentions of each soul on this recording. And we send that out into the beautiful Lionsgate portal, into this open and clear divine portal of energy that goes out into the infinite quantum, the space where all possibilities exist, the space where this intention exists. And as we speak it into existence with our co-creative energies and intentions, it starts to come into pure form. It comes into manifestation. Everything, the electromagnetic force that creates matter, goes into action, and we go into the activity of creating this intention. This intention is for every human being, every sentient being, that in this beautiful time and space of physical form, we request and we demand and we decree that these biggest challenges in our lives that we are now facing, that feel so big, that all of a sudden, just like that, they are solved. The magic of the universe, the magic of the beautiful, beautiful, intentional, divine timing of Gus comes alive. We awaken into solutions. We awaken into all of the beauty that this challenge is expressing to us, expressing for us. We allow ourselves to surrender into the challenge. We allow ourselves to surrender into all that it brings as far as fear or grief or sadness or loneliness, whatever that lower dimensional frequency is. We thank it for allowing us to show or to see that we have something to look at. And yet at the same time, we invite those energies to drop out of your field and into the archives, where they can stay to be pulled from at any moment to go deeper into the message. However, from this place, with those lower densities removed from your field, we now have clearer vision. And we allow this clear vision to melt away any fog, melt away any confusion, melt away any sadness, melt away anything that resides within you that helps you, that hurts you from seeing more clearly. Beautiful soul, because you and we have put our intentions on lifting the confusion, in it simply does, and so it is. And from this place of clarity, you can now look out and you can see the solutions. You can see the message. You no longer fear. You allow yourself to surrender into the divine path, the quickest, most beautiful path of least resistance that allows you to flow through this beautiful challenge and into the land of freedom, to the other side of this challenge where freedom resides. And if you would imagine yourself turning around and looking at that limitation one last time and bowing to it and saying, thank you. Thank you for all the work that had to be done in order to be on this side. And now I know. And from here on out, sweet soul, you allow that path to reveal itself easily and effortlessly because it is already done. And on the other side of that pathway, every party in that challenge chooses their highest and best good. Every party awakens to the truth. Every party awakens to every part of the challenge, your quote unquote side, their perspective, your perspective. And each of those perspectives are honored. Each of those perspectives are shared. And each of those perspectives expand and multiply for each individual involved. And we give great, great thanks for the lights going on, for the awareness building up, for the action and kind activity of each participant to come to the surface so that all expand, grow, and thrive from passing through this challenge. With this intentional energy, we simply just give that intention a little boost and allow it to be so, knowing that we are creating this intention in this Lionsgate portal and this new moon day of 8/8/2021. Okay, taking a deep breath. I'm going to anchor that in. If you have water, take a sip. Stay with where you are, though. Okay. And from this beautiful place where we just released that challenge. We released everything, the grips, the triggers, and we've allowed ourselves to expand into a higher expansion of being in the version of you that has already transcended this challenge into the greatest opportunity it delivers. And from that space, your higher self, dear one, starts to open her eyes and looks around her reality and sees a completely different reality, because from where she sits now, she has transcended into a higher quantum field. And that quantum field has a higher resonance and a higher vibration, because that's what happens when we transcend and alchemize challenges into the greatest possibilities. And when we intend to do that, it has to be so. And from this place of the highest possibility unfolding, from this place, we feel the peace within our hearts as we no longer have anything to figure out. We feel in our gut, we feel just the release and the relaxation of allowing our bodies to come back into a state of homeostasis, allowing any part of our body that held on to stress or anxiety from this challenge to just simply disappear, because we can choose that, allowing that to fall out of your field. And taking a deep, deep breath, expanding that space, cleansing and clearing that space, allowing it to be there and be available for all the abundance that this 8/8 portal opens us up to, because this portal delivers us into the abundance of the 5D quantum world, that 5D quantum world that can be lived here in this physical world, in this physical planet now. How lucky are we? How blessed are we? How beautiful is it that we get to choose how we live a 5D, the first time this frequency has been available in physical form. We are the first humans to live it here, and how beautiful that is. What an opportunity. What opportunity is it that you want to create now that this challenge is starting to fall away in your physical world, and it will start to reveal all of its paths for each involved. Therefore, you get to choose what then unfolds, what intention unfolds for this particular situation in your life, from your higher self being in full power. What I know is she steps into a more expanded expression of this part of your life, whether it's parenting, whether it's money, whether it's a relationship or 2 or 3, whether it's your job, whether it's your spiritual connection, whatever it is, this part of your life is no longer challenged. It has dropped away. That has been done. It is done. It is good. And what makes it even better is what you create with it from here on out, because in this Lionsgate portal, there is nothing more important than the intention that you set for your now moment now and moving forward. What is it you are creating from here on out? You have personal responsibility. And I know from your version of your higher self, that personal responsibility chooses, hopefully, to take the road of least resistance and allow your soul to take the lead, so that this part of your life expands and unfolds in ways that you could not have imagined, way beyond anything that you have imagined. How exciting it is to simply watch, like you are a participant in a movie, watching the movie of your life unfold in ways that just surprise you. You see your eyes wide open. You see your heart exploding with joy as it just overflows. And all of the extra love and gratitude and appreciation that flows from your heart flows back into the beautiful grid of the 5D world, allowing others to also feel your exuberance for life. Your exuberance for life starts to expand, starts to expand, starts to expand, starts to expand, and it just multiplies and expands from there, simply because you have chosen to expand and multiply on this portal day in all and every part of your life. Sweet soul, thank you for building and creating this energy of creation that we have all created together, knowing that everything that has been challenging us has now moved to the past. You will see parts of it still unfolding in your reality, and yet there is nothing for you to figure out. There's nothing for you to have to do. You simply be, knowing it is already taking care of itself, and the beautiful expansion has already begun. Simply trust the expansion. As we move into this brand new solar year, so to speak, on this beautiful, beautiful holiday, so to speak. And it's a holiday of astrological proportions, this Lionsgate portal, landing on the same day as the new moon. What we intend today is doubly supercharged. I don't know if that's an official word, but it is supercharged. The electromagnetic field that you are today, because of this sacred time that we have spent together, aligned with the perfect portal of abundance. Sweet soul, do you know what we have activated? We have activated something quite beautiful. It is the expansion of you. It is the rebirth of you, stepping into a brand new place in time and space where you now get to watch the expansion unfold. Excuse me. I am honored to be here with you. I am honored to be the channel of this message, because not only is it for you, sweet soul, it is also for me, the human who walks this planet trying to figure out how to make the most of her life and how to learn, grow, expand, share, give, commune with all of you who are also on the same path. Know that you are not alone. Know that you are fully loved and respected. And know that you are fully loved. And every single intention that you put into your vibrational field today, whether you watch it on this Lionsgate portal or whether you come into this recording years from now, you came here at this perfect time, because this challenge is coming to a head, and your greatest expansion ever is simply in one now moment further. Step into it. Step into the expansion. Set your intention, because this video, this recording, this message is imbued with everything you need to step into the expansion you've been waiting for. It is time, dear one. It is time. Accept it, receive it, because we, as your light beings of support, are channeling all of the energy required to awaken parts of your DNA and your wisdom and the knowledge within you that you haven't already known. You will now know it, and that expands you. Follow the expansion, sweet soul. Thank you for being with me here in beautiful, beautiful COBA, Mexico, right near the COBA Mayan ruins. I hope you've heard some of the sounds of the jungle. I hope you have felt the love and the expansion that I have experienced here, because I share that with you. I give you great, great thanks and blessings for a beautiful unfoldment of so much expansion. And I look forward to hearing what it is you have experienced in expansion in the comments. Please leave them. Let me know how you are expanding, how you are moving, and how you are taking advantage of this beautiful, potent time in history as we create a brand new earth, sacred earth for all of humanity. Love to you. Mwah.